or lower left on your phone.
Oh. All right. I got all the windows closed, so we're not going to have any echoes. Make sure we're in the group. We are there. All right. Welcome everybody to our Stories of Wellness. Marla Stegman here, and I've been with Plexus almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years on March 8th. And if you're joining new, please put in the comments, who invited you. Put questions in there if you have any tonight. What we're going to do for this format is I have a friend, Chris, is coming on, and she's joining us from Mitchell, South Dakota. That's where she lives. And she's going to share her testimony. If you have questions for her, feel free to put them in the chat here on the Zoom or in the group. I'll be checking the group comments as well. And then when she's done, I'm going to cover our March incentives and what's going on for the month, and also a little bit about our triplex. Okay. So with that, I would really like to bring on Chris, and she's just going to authentically share where she started and how she got to where she is now. She's going to try and do it in 15 minutes. She as well was a former teacher. She was a part-time Phi Ed teacher. I was a former teacher. So I'm just excited to hear her full story. So thank you, Chris.
Hey, everybody. I feel so honored to get to do this tonight. So thank you for inviting me on, Marla. And I don't know if you guys know if Marla shared at all how we met, but we met last January was it in Phoenix? Yes, it was during the Brand Evolution event for the Sapphires and Diamonds that we got invited to. And she was hanging out with Helen. And I actually, we're all sideline sisters, you guys, and brothers. Like we're family here. So I'm also under Helen, but I'm way down there because I've got lots of upline that's in between there. But Helen I stopped and said hi to Helen, and we were talking, and Marla was sitting there. We just started hitting it off and talking, and Helen had introduced us, and I forgot that you were a teacher, Marla. So that's really cool that we have similar stories in that. But okay, so go Colonels. I love it. I live in Mitchell, South Dakota. We're actually fairly new residents to South Dakota. We moved here in October of 2020 of all years. And that's a whole God story in and of itself. But and definitely part of my Plexus story too, because we would not be here if it was not for Plexus. 100%. So I started Plexus January 24 of 2016. And that's when I hit join, enroll, whatever the button said at the time. We were struggling with our health. My husband and I I have a dear college friend that I did life with post-college. We knew each other for years. It's somewhere around 27 years now. I lose track at this point, but she's a dear friend of mine. And of course, we're Facebook friends. She only lived a couple hours north of me, which we were in Michigan at the time. And so I saw her posting about Plexus, and I had heard of it, but I had written it off, and I was like, I don't really need that. And I probably had heard of it like a year and a half before, but she started sharing on Facebook, and I literally called her right away and was like, cause she's one of my best friends. I consider her almost like a sister. And so I knew she had some health struggles and had prayed over those things with her, and was really excited to hear why she started, because I knew a little bit about what I had heard, but I just wondered what she was going to hope to get out of it. So she shared some things with me, and I was like, well, I'm just going to watch and see what this does for you. And at the time, I didn't really feel like I needed anything yet. But over the course of those 5 months, I think because she was posting such valuable information about the products every day, and they were popping up on my newsfeed all the time, and my husband was seeing all of those things as well. Some of our health things that we thought were no big deal and were more of like an age related thing, like, oh, you just get closer to, I was 38 at the time. Well, that's how old I was. And my husband's just a few years older than me. So we're like, high 30s, Kevin had hit 40. So we're just thinking we're older. And this is what happens when you get to be 40, right? Like your hormones, I've had 3 kids. I'm tired. I'm running around a gym every day, teaching PE to elementary school kids. So of course I'm tired, and I just had lots of excuses, but I had actually some hormone things going on. I had monthly acne breakouts. I had, my cycles were getting kind of weird every month. I never had struggled with that before. I was noticing mood changes around that time of month, like a switch would go on and off. It was very strange. And that was never something I struggled with. I felt kind of like I wasn't really gaining weight, but I was not fitting in my clothes well. So I just felt puffy and exhausted all the time, was crashing on my couch, but after putting my kids to bed, and then I'd wake up at like 11 o'clock at night, and then I'd go to bed, and then I'd sleep horrible, and I had night sweats and just weird stuff that a healthy, like young mom should not be struggling with. That I eat well, I exercise daily, I run around a gym every day, so it didn't make sense to me, and I couldn't put my finger on what to do. My husband, however, had a lot of things going on. His doctor was concerned about. He had just had a physical for work, and he had high blood sugar, high cholesterol, showing signs of gluten intolerance. Some bathroom issues were popping up after eating certain things. He felt bloated a lot. Some things I found out after we started Plexus, like things he never complained about, he just lived with. So like gut aches and bloated, that stuff he never talked about. The acid reflux, never talked about that stuff. But he had some bigger things that he wasn't medicating for, but the doctor was like, this is coming in your future if we do not do something about it. So he one day saw a post, and I'd read the same one, and it was like a list of 10 things. If you have these 10 things, you need Plexus. And we were like, I was actually ready to go. I had done like a girlfriend's weekend with her, and she was drinking her pink drink and using all of her stuff. And another friend was talking to her about it. So I was kind of bought in and ready, but I wasn't sure what Kevin would think because it really wasn't in our budget. I was an part-time elementary PE teacher in a private school. And I'd been there a while. So that, so it was a fairly good size paycheck, but yet not, because life is expensive. My kids were in school and they went to the private school. And so tuition was weighing on us, and along with car payments and house payments and all the other bills. My husband was a diesel mechanic. And he did fine with his job, but again, maybe we didn't always make the best financial choices. And we had some debt built up, and we were just in the middle of a tough financial place, and adding supplements to that did not feel doable. But I was like ready, and because I was noticing I didn't feel good. And then he, one night while doing dishes, was like, it's time to call Sal. I feel like that post spoke to me. I had 8 of those 10 issues, and I'm sick of it. I don't know what to do. Yes, maybe medications would do something, but there's got to be more to it. Yes, he needed to eat better, although he didn't eat horrible because I fed him for the most part. Right. So I cooked, and I'm not like making my own bread type of thing, but we did eat fairly healthy, and I didn't really need to lose weight, but I think he did need to do more, and he does need to exercise and stuff. That's not his favorite thing to do, and he realized that. I know I need to make some good life choices with some things, but what about this other stuff? Like, I mean, is the gut, what's going to help my gut? What's going to help the gluten intolerance and all of that? Like, there's got to be more. So I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. And that was my go. And so I first did say to him though, how are we going to pay for this? Because that made me nervous. I was like, this is going to be part of our grocery bill. Like, which budget line is this going under? And are we going to be able to afford this? Both of us on the triplex, because I knew that's what we needed to do. And he actually encouraged me to share. He was like, why don't you do what Sal does? She looks like she shares on Facebook every day. And I had actually done a network marketing company in maybe a few years before that kind of fizzled out. It was a good little side money. Did not pay a ton, took a lot of time outside of the home, and even in the home, late nights. So it just kind of fizzled out. Did not grow into anything huge. That just meant that I I wasn't nervous about putting stuff on social media. I didn't do a ton on my Facebook wall. I usually posted a Bible verse every day, things with my kids once in a while, life stuff, just general life. Cause I lived away from my family, had lots of friends from college and high school. It was just staying in touch. Right. So I thought, well, I can put stuff on my wall. Sure. So I called Sal and we enrolled and had our triplex come. And honestly, the story just, I guess, explodes from there. I started posting from day one, never stopped. Haven't stopped yet. It's been 7 years, just celebrated that 7-year Plexiversary. And so grateful I did not let any fears get in the way of that, because I definitely had people message me right away. Some were skeptical and just were like, what's Plexus? And it was fairly new to our area. And it still blows me away how many people have never heard of it. I actually just messaged a girl the other day that I go to the gym with here in Mitchell. She said, I never heard of it until I saw you posting about it on Facebook. I was like, see, you guys, it's not saturated. And there's actually other teams local to Mitchell, so that aren't my team. So it is not saturated at all, so there's still plenty of people out there, but people were messaging me, and I had some negative ones too. Some of them were family even like, what are you doing? And like, you don't know what this is about. But I was like, you know what, we're just going to check this out and see what it's like. As far as our health story goes, we really had some in the first month or two. I think we had we felt better. Like I noticed my 5:30 workouts, 5:30 a.m. workouts were more energized. I wasn't dragging through them because I was skipping the coffee and I was slamming my pink drink. And so my blood sugar immediately was balanced first thing in the morning, and I was like ready to go. It took several months, but my skin started to clear up. Didn't have that monthly breakout. That was for real. Every month at 38, I was breaking out. It was very annoying, but I never, ever break out anymore. It blows me away to this day. My mood balance, so much so that I remember being in my gym once and my kids were playing and doing games. And I remember thinking, I feel really chill right now. Like nothing was bugging me, and I didn't really have issues with that anyway as a teacher, but I still like things, my buttons were pushed a little bit more before Plexus. And there was just at some point in time, I don't know when it was, but I remember standing in my gym going, I love feeling this way. I just feel happy to be here. My kids are, it's sometimes a crazy gym. But yet I'm having fun and I love watching them have fun. And I didn't feel like, I don't know, moody or whatever. So that just felt different. I was sleeping better, no more night sweats. My body balanced. And then my husband too, we didn't do blood work for a good year and a half. We kind of regret that a little bit, but we had switched, our insurance companies and then did some testing and blood work, probably 18 months after we started. And we started with the triplex, but then we did slowly add in as I started to get customers and started to build a team. We felt like we could start adding in a few more products. So we did like X Factor, pre-X Factor Plus days, and then Mega X. And then we just kind of added little things here and there, but we really stuck with the Fab Five, we call those. And really over that year and a half, everything leveled out. His blood work came back squeaky clean. He actually asked his doctor, because we had like a in-home nurse come and do it for the insurance company or something. And he went to his doctor and said, can I see my results? And we literally did side by side. His blood sugar numbers were above, like not in super scary, but like above the line, and they went down. His cholesterol below the line, like all the good cholesterol went up, the bad went down. We were blown away. And we talked about it. He didn't really change a ton with his diet. I just kept cooking the way I cook. And, he doesn't, go out to eat every day or anything like that, but he didn't really add in a ton of exercise or anything. I do think the bloat went down. So I think his belt buckle did go down a little bit here and there, but oh, you guys, it was just, yeah. So we've felt great. Like I'm 45 now, 45 and 48 is our ages. And we feel better now than we did in our 30s. I'm not exhausted anymore. I'm really grateful for these products, but I'm even more grateful that I said yes to the business, because that yes to posting and to sharing this with other people has resulted in thousands of other testimonies, both health related and business related. It's created friendships all over the United States and globe, really, since we are international. And the people I've met through this experience, some of my dearest friends are my Plexus team, and some of them are even people like my high school friends. Like, I only live a couple hours now from where I grew up, and some of the girls that joined me were high school friends, and we lost touch. But thanks to Facebook and Plexus and health struggles, we found this common denominator, and there's some of my best girlfriends now, again, doing life together, but also doing Plexus together and building businesses together. So, yeah, long story short, we decided to sell our house and we could move anywhere we wanted. And so we live closer to my family than what I've been in 20 years. I'm only a couple hours away from my mom now, and I can just drive, that on a Sunday, or a Saturday, and I can come home. The first time we did that, my kids were like, this is so weird. We're not staying overnight, because we would go and have to stay for a week because it was a 12-hour drive. And now it's like, we can just go anytime we want, and she can come here. And, but we could do that because I am not tied to, wasn't tied to having to find a job that hit a certain income level. And that really held us back. We talked about doing this move years ago, but there was nothing available for PE teachers out this way. My husband's a diesel mechanic. He could find a job anywhere in the country. But for me, we had to do a lateral move, and that would have been really hard to do. But now sky's the limit. We can go wherever. I can work my business from anywhere I want. After we moved to South Dakota, my husband did find a job for a short amount of time, but it just wasn't a great fit. And I was able to say, why don't you just stay home? Why don't you just find something to do from home? And, and he loves to tinker. We have a big barn in our backyard. We have beautiful property that we're on that we get to enjoy. We have a shop and a barn, and it's big enough for him to do little side jobs for people. He gets to drive the grain truck for different farmers we've become friends with. He gets a lot of neighbor farm trucks that he gets to work on for them, and he loves it. It's like something different all the time, but he can be flexible with it. And you guys, he worked 12-hour, 14-hour shifts for years. And didn't have, in the last job he was at, he did not have vacation flexibility. He was really tied down, and this has just been such a gift to be able to have him home. He's home when the kids get up. He goes and picks them up from school. He supports my business. He he runs kids here and there. He always asks me, what can I do? And so I'm so grateful for his support, but I'm so grateful that I have that opportunity, that this business has supported us to be able to do this life that we have right now. So that's my 7-year story in a nutshell. And I've missed a few pieces here and there, but yes, it's been a huge gift. And I'm forever grateful that my friend Sally posted and that we went for it. We're lifers.
Yeah. So when did you what's your steps? Like, you started sharing, when did you go silver? Did you go pretty gradual?
Oh, good questions. Yeah, I didn't even talk about that. I didn't even say what rank I am. I don't know if that was in.
Right. You're a diamond ambassador.
Yes, diamond ambassador, Chris Rosencrans. Okay. So I started sharing, I went silver, I think in March after I joined. And, the people who joined me was a mom of kids that I taught, and my sister, my younger sister, and one of those high school friends I was telling about, and she's still with me. She's actually an emerald on my team.
Oh,
She has
cool.
an amazing story too. So, but yeah, so it's just such a gift. And that story is awesome. Like, if you want to hear a great business story, from somebody who did have fear, that would be a great one to talk to, because it took a little bit for her to kind of get things going. But so I went, it actually went pretty quick. To be honest, we just had so many people that were struggling, I believe, with their health, and just everybody that came in was like, I do not want to do this business. So my story is very unique from other people. You hear a lot of diamonds talk about, like, we're looking for business builders. We want people to join for the business. And I agree 100%. You need to talk to people about the business. You need to talk about what a beautiful gift this is. But all my leaders, except for one, did not come on for the business. They were like, do not talk to me about it. I don't have time for that. I will quit if you bug me about sharing. So I was like, okay, I just want your testimony. Like, let's just help you feel better. Let's get you off your meds. Let's help you feel better. And their lives were so transformed by the products that they could not share. And so that's really where my team was built from, was really happy product users that could not believe how much better they felt. So yeah, silver in March, and then it went fairly quickly. There was no senior silver at that time. So gold actually, I think, was June. So that took a little bit. But then we went fast. It was senior gold in July, ruby in August, and then senior ruby at Leaders Retreat in October. And then the next year, 14 months after my join date, so March of 2017, I hit emerald. And that was really life-changing, because January, this is pretty pivotal. If you don't mind me sharing, January is when like the private schools, Christian schools, a lot of times we'll send out kind of what are your intentions for next year, just to find out who wants to, who's going to retire, who maybe got their masters and, change in pay, who wants to shift buildings, like just different things. And so I knew that was coming. And January 15, when our Plexus paycheck came, it was the same as my 18-year school salary. And I just sat there. I remember sitting at the table going, okay, Lord, what do I do? And because we weren't slowing down, and I knew it. And our points just only were going up at that time. And so I was like, what do I do? So again, I went to my husband, and he said, I think you know what you need to do. You need to tell your principals it's time to be done. And ooh, that gets me emotional, because I loved teaching. I loved my kids. I taught K through 5, K through 6 for 18 years, you guys. And it was a gift. And, but I always craved to be like the room mom and to do the field trips. And I just never was able to do that. I never thought I would be teaching when my kids were little. I thought I would get to stay home like my mom did for me. And then my mom went back to teaching when we all went to school. But I didn't have that opportunity. I needed to teach because we needed the salary with that. So, and I was okay with that. It was where I was called to be, but I still had that desire to not have to write sub plans when my kids were sick, and to just be home and be available. And so, yes, I went to my principals and just said, I think I'm going to be done this year. And they were shocked, but yet gave me my blessing. And then March is when we hit emerald, and we just, and then I think sapphire was 2 years after that. I can't remember the exact date. And then sapphire was a struggle. I actually went backwards for a while at sapphire. It took a little steam out of my team. And there's a story behind that too, but then naturally re-hit probably 9 months later, after we kind of started dropping points. So it happens to everybody, you guys. And then slowly started inching towards diamond. And then diamond, I actually hit in 2020, May of 2020, if you can believe it. Like, in the middle of a pandemic, I dropped my kids' stuff off at school, did the drive-through drop off of all the books and the computers that everybody had to do. And the teachers are like, yay, cheering for you, because we weren't in school that last semester, right? Or the last quarter of 2020. And my kids had their bags packed, and we drove north to my dear friend Sally, to her house, and we wrapped up diamond up at her home. And then, yeah, we've just been slowly going. So I guess I'm a diamond senior silver is what I am. So hit reentry points sometime in the last year, and have started to slowly build a second team. And it's, it's a journey, you guys. And every business builder, every team member I have has a story, and they're all unique. And that's what it's so important to remember, that is, your story is not going to be like anybody else's. And there's a reason for that, because there's lessons to be learned along the way that you will probably be teaching your team too. So I don't take any of those for granted. And it's just been a really amazing adventure.
Oh, that's pretty unreal to go emerald that quickly.
Yes.
And our team is similar. Like, I would say one person came to me that I can think of for the business, because her husband lost his job suddenly. She's like, and she was on the products already. And she's like, can I make money doing this? I said, yeah, but you got to do work. You got to post. And so she then shifted. So she was already well, she had stopped. That's right. She was on the products. So they couldn't afford them. And then she came back. And so out of all my team, I have one person that wanted the business. So it might be the Midwest in us.
Yeah.
Maybe, because I even said, no, 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 don't talk to me about it. But true, I thought I'm 59. So when I started, I was 52. And I thought all my ailments were hereditary, and part of aging. Like, I'm
Yep.
just gonna be this tired all the time. I'm gonna have low iron. I'm gonna have just all the things. And then all of a sudden you realize, gosh, I haven't had a headache in 3 months. When's the last time, I took a nap or wanted to take a nap? Like, yeah, it hits you like, and still to this day, I'm still like you are passionate and so forever grateful. And it is a God-led journey. I truly believe that, there's just a lot of things that I could share too, that just, but your story is amazing. And your upline, so I met them at my very first Emerald extravaganza trip. I was sitting at our Jewel exclusive or whatever, Jewel training. And I looked and I saw two ladies that looked exactly the same. And my mom's an identical twin. So then I just had to say, okay, I'm staring at you because my mom has a twin and they just look identical. And so do you guys must be identical. So we struck up a conversation.
Aww.
And then I think my husband ended up going golfing with one of them's husbands. I can't remember how that all worked out, but anyway, yeah. So small world, but if you are listening and you also, are curious about what, the business plan looks like, I didn't really understand it. I just started sharing, and I still didn't understand it like for months and probably till I hit Ruby, but I just kept sharing. And, you really, it's not like a different kind of job. Like, it's not like you do a lesson plan and you carry it out like teaching. So it's very unique to you and where you're at. So I'm gonna, does anyone have any questions for Chris? Oh, got a couple comments here. Thanks for sharing. And no questions there. No questions on here. So I can't think of any right now either, other than just what a blessing. Like, I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for Plexus. I've met such high quality people of good character and good Christian, just honest, amazing people. And so I'm just so thankful that you agreed to taking time out of your busy life doing this tonight. And I definitely will return the favor if you ever need that on your team calls too. So
I would love that. Awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you. So if you want to hop off, you can, or stay on, but I'm just going to share about our March incentives. So you can do as you wish, but thank you, Chris, so much
for letting me join in, everybody. Appreciate you guys so much. And just keep going. That's my biggest tip for you.
One more question. Now
it
came to me. This is my mind always works this way. When is the first convention you went to?
Oh, that's a good story. My first convention, I didn't go to convention until I was a Sapphire.
What?
Yes, that's a good story. I did not go my first year because I signed up in January and I did not believe that this would turn into a legit business. And Sally asked me if I wanted to go and I said no. But then by June, I was like, oh man. And they were all, I knew all these people. And so I really missed out. I wished I had gone. So go to convention. If you're a silver, you just started, don't skip convention, because by the time June rolls around, you are going to wish you were there. First, it's in Nashville. Hello. Right. So, but I saw the pictures and I was building a business at that point, and I was skeptical a little bit, you guys. I shared without any problems sharing, but I was skeptical that this would turn into something big. Sally wasn't. She was like, we're going diamond. You're going to be a diamond. I'm going to be a diamond. We're going to walk on that stage. But I was like, maybe, I just didn't believe it. But she did. And I'm so grateful she breathed that belief in me. Go to convention. So I missed that convention. Then the next year, when I should have been an Emerald, you guys, they moved convention to the end of May. And I had retired teaching. And the week of convention was my last week of school. And I was heartbroken. So my last week of school is field day. It's my whole thing, report cards, all the things. So I couldn't go. And I actually got to tell Alec Clark that at an opportunity event. My husband and I went to an opportunity event in Indiana, northern Indiana, just a couple hours from where we were. And he was there. And so I stood up when they asked all the ranks to stand up. And I was the only Emerald in the room. And he came up to me and talked to me and just said, so we'll see you at convention. I was like, no. But he was so kind, you guys. He was like, finish strong. That's what he said to me. He was like, finish strong. I get it. You've got to finish your job well. So finish that and we'll see you at the next one. And I was like, I mean, he's just the best. Anyway, so my girlfriend, Sal, she actually brought me on stage on her phone on my day off. Wednesday was my day off. She called me and I sat on my front porch and she brought me on stage and showed me the stage. So I sobbed and all that. So the next year I was Sapphire. And so went on stage as a Sapphire.
That's so cool.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. The years get jumbled, but
Oh, I know they do, especially the COVID years.
yes. Oh my, yeah. So yeah.
So she's talking about Alex Clark. So if you guys don't know, he's the co-founder of our company, and he also came to North Dakota when I hit Emerald from our celebration. So
did he?
Yeah, and so he got to know my son and my husband and everyone on the team. It was just so cool. We got to go out to eat afterwards, and I was driving and drove over a curb with him in there. So we have a funny story because I was so nervous. I think just like, oh my gosh, this is him. Anyway,
I love it.
Yeah, he is just the best, just down to earth, and
he's real.
integrity is high. So
that really is.
Yeah. So does anyone else have any other questions? I think that's it. And if I probably will think of a few after you get off, you know how that goes.
Yes, that's okay. That's okay. Well, I'll let you guys get to your the rest of your fun stuff, but thank you so much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it.
Love your story and so happy for you.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Yeah, Chris. All right. So I'll just tell you a little bit of what's happening this month we want to get into some accountability with fitness. So that we're doing what's called March Madness, which is March 8th through the 17th that we're doing. It's a challenge that you can invite others to be in and just get them in our group, in our healthy living group. And what there's going to be is like a word of the day each day. And then you're going to print off, there is a code for each letter, and you're going to do calisthenics for each letter of that word. And then there's a check-in at night saying that you did it. You can actually take a picture of yourself doing it or whatever. There's also going to be a $100 giveaway. We want everybody to get their orders in before the 15th because a couple reasons. Because you earn more things. Plexus has started last month. If you had your subscription run or your manual order by the 15th of the month, you got a free bag of collagen. This month, it's a free bag of Berry Active that you get for free just for having, but you do have to have $149 worth of product. So that could be like the triplex, or we're doing a reset starting on the 20th of February. So if you want to order a reset, and then another special this month is if you add on a bag of the snack size minis, the smart snacks, those are on sale for $15 if you add it to your reset as a manual or in your subscription. And any new VIP that joins also gets the free bag of Berry Active. And this is limited. We can't get this other than during our specials. And this flew off the shelves last time. And the code for the VIP is March 23, MAR 23. So talk to your sponsor about that if you're questioning that. Other than that, we're also going to be doing I almost forgot. You can earn an iPad 10 this month, or 2 of them if you want, by adding 6 VIPs. So new VIPs to, could be your sister, like she said, it's her best friend or sister, a mom, so when you start talking about the products, some people might be ready to join you when you invite them in this group to hear these stories. People are usually taking something from some other company, and our products really do work if you're taking them right. So why not get them on our products, right? So you can earn a free iPad if you have 6 VIPs, or if you have 3 people join and then one person also goes silver, which means they help 3. So, and then you can earn, that's called Fast Start. You can earn over $300 just by having a few people join with you, the 3 people, which is pretty amazing, because there's a gal that just started, I think she might be on here, Melissa. She actually does a little bit of a Pampered Chef as well. And she's like, does Plexus always give these amazing prizes away? Because last month it was the Lululemon. The month before was the Boot Barn. Now we got the iPad. It's like, yeah, it's pretty amazing. All the things they give us over and above what the business plan payout is. It's kind of crazy. The other thing that I wanted to invite you in on also is we're doing a book study, and Chris had, before we hopped in here, she said their team just got done reading this for the 3rd time. It is such a good book for life lessons, not just doing business. John Maxwell is one of the speakers at convention. So if you want to do a girls trip to convention, come. It's a cheap way to go. You can write off your trip, and John Maxwell is going to be speaking, but we're going to do this book starting Monday on our calls that are in our diamond group. So let me know if you want to be in on this. You can even just listen if you don't want to buy the book, but there's so many nuggets in here that we can take away and use in our life. The other thing I want to talk to you about was Plexus Book Club. Plexus has a book club on the 3rd Saturday of each month. And did you know that anybody can join that? They hire an author every month to talk to us about their book. You guys, that's crazy good. No other company does that. And people can get on and listen without even taking the products. So you don't have to be on the products to listen. So any people that you have, friends that love books, they're bookworms and love book studies, tell them about that. Such a blessing. The other thing is Monday, on Wednesdays, we have Wednesday welcome to Plexus calls. Corporate does those every Wednesday, if you want to attend those. And then we have our events. Next week, Andrea's hosting the Thursday, and then the next week is Kelly Carlstead, and then it's Kelly Hulse. So we're taking turns each week, bringing you different testimonies. So I want to talk to you about the triplex. That's one thing I was going to ask Chris, was what she started with, and I'm sure it was the triplex, I'm pretty sure. And the triplex is foundational as far as getting to the root cause of so many issues: weight loss, gut health, and gut health leads to so many things. So with that, you can get the pink drink, which comes in a hunger control or in the microbiome activating. Both of these have similar ingredients that balance blood glucose, detoxify your liver, also help so that you don't have sugar and carb cravings. And the hunger control, it just has more fiber in it, so it will fill you up more so than the microbiome activating. You can have up to 2 a day. You can mix them in water, anywhere from 12 to 30 ounces of water. It's up to you. Another product, the triplex, is the BioCleanse. I'll talk about first, because you can get 3 different sizes in BioCleanse. This is the humunga size. This is the size I always order, because people that have issues with going to the bathroom regularly are going to need a bigger one than people that don't. So making sure that you customize your welcome pack if you need this big one is important. So that's something, if you don't know how to do that to help your friend get started, talk to your sponsor or me, or somebody will help you with that. And then the ProBio 5 is also the other product in our triplex that is our probiotic with digestive enzymes and antifungal. So it's a 3-in-1 product. So you take this at night, it works on the candida, yeast overgrowth. This helps clean it out, all the gunk. And it's just an amazing package of goodness. I guess I've been taking it now 8 years almost. The triplex, haven't stopped one day. The other thing was the reset. If you haven't tried the reset, somebody in here was commenting about the restore at night. She didn't appreciate the taste, but I tell you, if you want to detox your body and kind of reignite your metabolism, this is something that does work. It has been proven to that on the average, people lose 5.5 pounds, and not just water weight. It is fat loss because of the high protein content. So you're eating or drinking something every 2 hours. It's an amazing product, a nutritionally supported fast for 3 days. And then I wanted to talk quick about our electrolyte, our hydrate. That also comes in our reset. This is better than Powerade, Gatorade, because it doesn't have the sugar or artificial dyes. So a lot of people, you may not think you're dehydrated, but you can be if you're missing some minerals and electrolytes. So this is key. Also another product. And our Active is also a very popular product. This is our energy drink that gives you 100 milligrams of caffeine, but it's not the caffeic from coffee, like coffee, where it spikes your blood sugar, up and down. So then it triggers inflammation. This is from the green tea leaf. So the caffeine is from that. So that's going to really give you sustained energy, not like where your heart's going to be beating fast. It's just a really healthy energy product. So another thing with our Slim, a lot of people think our Slim has caffeine in it. It does not. It has the green coffee bean. So it actually doesn't have the caffeic acid, has the chlorogenic acid that it pulls out of it. So it's different than a coffee bean kind of caffeine, okay? They're sweetened with stevia. These two products are, and our other Slim, and then our electrolyte is sweetened with monk fruit. So everything's natural. We have amazing results from our products because they are such high quality ingredients. So get in touch with the person that invited you, get on board with us. Let's get excited about our March Madness. And if anyone has any questions, just unmute yourselves and go ahead and ask. If not, we will sign off. All right, no questions? All right, thanks you guys. Good night.